everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm back today with a 12 by 12 process video for you. This is for Lottie Loves Paper, so I'll say at the outset this does count as an advertisement. Today I'm using the Simple Stories Heart collection, and I'm using it to create a scrap lift of a layout that the entire design team from Lottie Loves Paper have decided to lift as just as a bit of fun, basically, and we all decided to do exactly the same layout and see what our different takes would be, using different kits and using different collections. So I'm using the Simple Stories Heart, and you'll have seen the original layout right at the beginning in the photographs that I'm lifting. I've taken most of the elements of the layout and I do keep it quite similar. So what I'm doing right now is I'm using some of the papers from the Heart collection to create banners. I did that just by cutting up a small way into the piece of cardstock in the centre, and then taking that cut from the top of that middle cut down to the corner to create the banner appearance. Now I do originally think that I'm going to put them onto that circular dotty paper as my background, but in the end I think it looks a little bit too busy, so I do swap that in a minute. I swap it out for white, but I am just looking through the stacks at the moment for some paper that I can use for the strips at the top and the bottom of the page. So yeah, I've gone to white here because I just think it stands out better and it makes the patterns of the papers I'm using for the banners stand out more from the page. So we've got that heart paper. I've used the turquoisey green grid paper, and now I'm just using this cut apart sheet. I liked that little stripy heart there that says love on it, so that looks perfect there, but all I want to do is do what I've done for the others and turn it into a banner. So again, just a snip up the centre and then two snips from the corner to the centre creates that banner. So now I'm just having a little look through this sticker sheet. I do love this stripy. I have already tried to use it on a different layout once before, so I've already cut it, but I do like it and it does end up back on the layout. But I decide quickly just to stick down these banners because I know where they're going, and then I can really place things around them without worrying about moving them. And there goes that stripy piece again at the bottom. I do leave a gap in the middle though. It's not quite 12 by 12 and I wanted it to run across the entire page, so I do leave that gap in the centre there, but then all I do a little bit later on is cover it with some ephemera, and you'll see that later in the video. So I'm just positioning my bits of cardstock there, those banners, onto the page. Plenty of double-sided sticky. And I'm just going to affix those on. One of them hangs off the edge of the page slightly, but then I just trim that off later. And I think sometimes you have to commit quite early on to sticking things down. Sometimes, and in the past, what I've done is created an entire layout without sticking any of it down, and then had awful trouble trying to get things back in the same position they were when I started trying to stick them, and it turns into a bit of a nightmare, really. That strip at the bottom there was originally, it had a scalloped edge to it. I didn't like the scalloped edge, I didn't want it, so I just chopped it off. So now I'm just putting a grey dotty strip at the top as well. And then I'm just trying to decide how I'm going to map my photographs and what other strips I'm going to put at the top, so to tie it all together. So there's that bit of ephemera there. It's a cardstock sticker that I've popped on top of that gap. And I've decided I'm just going to back my photographs in some vellum. Apologies there for the bit of glare on the photograph. That's just my light shining back off them. Haven't got the ideal setup in my craft room at the moment. My craft room is moving as soon as the flooring has been put down in our new extension. And I'm moving out there where there's lots of beautiful natural light, and I'm very excited to actually have my craft room out there in the new space where I can sit and admire the garden. So I've decided that I'm going to map my photographs now onto some white cardstock. So I'm just grabbing some scraps out of my scraps bags. I keep all my scraps in colour order. They're all in those big Ziploc IKEA bags in a tub. It makes it dead easy. If I know I need just a scrap of something, I can just pull it out of that bag. So I'm just trimming down some now to fit my photographs on. And there's one. And a bit more double-sided sticky for the other one. I like a whiteboard around a photograph. It makes it really pop off the page. And now I'm just going back to the cut apart sheet to see what else there is and see what else I fancy popping on this layout. This collection is really, really lovely. It is a memorial collection, and this isn't a memorial page, but I think it's such a versatile collection that you can use it for anything. I've used it for some baby pictures. I've used it for pictures of myself and my son, like this one, and it really is a gorgeous collection. So I am just going to use this foiled paper. This is black with gold foiled hearts on it. I have used some of this paper already, so again, I don't have a 12 by 12 strip left, so we're just going to have to do a bit of a joining job here, just to join two pieces together. And again, later on, all I'll do is put a little bit of something over where they're joined, just to make sure that you can't see that the paper has been joined underneath that. So what I'm doing now is getting some adhesive foam just to pop up my photographs. I don't want masses of dimension on this layout, but I do want a little bit. I didn't want to stick them down exactly flat. I've left a gap in the foam there where my photographs are going to overlap each other. Otherwise there'd be some weird unevenness going on. So just leave a little gap. And plenty of double-sided sticky again, just to make sure they stay put. Find this lovely sticker here that I was thinking of pop up there, but then I end up taking it back off because the sticker sheet is just ever such a slightly different colour to the black of the cardstock, so it didn't quite fit with the two blacks that I've already used, so I took it back off. And what I'm doing now is using some of the cardstock stickers to start embellishing. I've taken that wreath there and cut out the central banner which said remember on it, and I've just used the flowery parts, and I'm just putting banner ends on this little sticker here that says so loved. I'm just going to get a little bit of adhesive foam and pop that up under the corner of that photograph, and then I just start going through the ephemera pack and the chipboard pieces to see which ones I'm going to try and include on my layout and where they're going to go. And I do find a fair few bits that I think might fit on this layout. So just sorting through. I have that little tray there. It's just a dip tray that I found at a supermarket, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. A few different sections, can sort out my ephemera that I know I'm using on particular layouts, and then I've got plenty of space to spread them out. So what I'm doing now is I'm using bits of the die cut ephemera and bits of scraps of paper that I have as well, and making myself some little banners just to pop underneath that top strip of black, just like was on the original. So I've taken lots of different colours. I've got greys, I've got white, I've got that turquoisey colour there. I've got one that says make a wish up at the top. That little banner I've popped down there at the bottom with the plan, sorry, not banner, the little label at the bottom with the planner popping the date and the place on there. We were actually, you can't see I don't think from here, we were actually at a farm. It was one summer, and we'd visited Folly Farm in Wales, and we were at the penguin enclosure. So just popping those little banners in. I found some little hearts that I also want to include on the layout, so they're going to get popped in at various different places. Little labels on the edge of the photographs, and then I do decide to pop another strip of black up at the top there, just to frame the page a little bit better. It didn't quite have enough, it just needed properly framing. The lighter colour at the edge wasn't working for me, so I decided to put that darker strip of black up there. And there's my title, Love You, which is not from the Simple Stories Heart collection. It is one that I had in my stash, but it just seemed to fit perfectly with those gold accents, and it really just brought the gold of the page together. And then I think I just grab some of my enamel dots now, just to add a little tiny bit more embellishing and a bit more dimension. And that's it for my layout. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for stopping by. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you again soon.